Well, one of the most important features to set up on your Gmail, if you haven't done so yet, is to create a labeling system. And you saw in my example that a lot of the messages you get in your inbox might be things that you don't need to look at right now, but you might just need to refer to later. And if that's something you'd like to automatically not show up in your inbox, you need to create a label for it. The other reason we use labels is because it makes searching for things a lot easier. Now, Gmail is great with searching, but you'll give it a lot more help if you can create labels. So you don't need a crazy number of labels, just a number of labels that allow you to manage your messages easily. I actually label very, very few of the messages that come through my inbox, but sometimes it just really helps to have those on there. Now, Gmail will come with some built-in labels, and maybe that's all you have right now. I actually am using an alternate Gmail account to show you this because my Gmail account is already so organized it would be hard to show you. So here's an example of the categories that show up and the labels that you see. They're on the left. So always starts with your inbox, and then you see things like start and sent and drafts. And that's typically what it looks like. And here's a few more here. Now the all mail one, this is all the mail you've ever had ever in your email. So that's certainly a way to find something, but it's kind of like looking in that huge stack. So let's see how you can set up some labels. We go over here to what we call the gear icon. And this is where a lot of the things are that you need to find to just set things up. So we're going to go to settings, and then up here you'll see labels. So the second tab there is called labels. And here are all what we call the system labels. Those are the ones that Gmail sets up for you automatically. But we're going to scroll down and we're going to create some new labels. Now again, these will be very individualized. So you can do whatever you think helps you manage all of your messages. So I might, as a teacher, at least at the high school, we get a lot of information about attendance. So much of it is just stuff that I don't need to see, but I wouldn't mind putting a label on it and filing it away. So I'm going to type attendance and then click create. I don't need to nest it at this point, but I will show you what nesting looks like next. And there it is. So attendance. We can always come back here later and hide it. If we decide, gosh, this is something I'm really not using all that much, you can hide it or remove it. So let's create another one. Now, I mentioned that field trips are things, we get multiple messages a day at the high school about field trips, and very few of them pertain to me, but I do like to have them in case the kid's gone and I need to find out where they are, and I think they might be on a field trip. So I actually am going to nest this under attendance, because to me, field trips really affects attendance. Again, not necessary for organizing this, but it's a nice way to organize everything. And what else might I include? Maybe I'm part of a professional organization, like I'm a math teacher and I'm in the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics or the Ohio Council. And if I get regular messages from them and I like to refer back to them, or maybe, again, something I don't want to read and have it clutter up my inbox, but I'll look at it maybe on the weekend or once a month when I have time, so that might be a good label. What else? Maybe the principal sends out memos. And so that weekly memo, maybe it's my habit to look at that on Friday evening or Saturday morning. So I could create something for that, so that when it comes in, I either have the option of just putting on the label and getting to it later, or, as I'll show you in another video, you can automatically have those messages labeled and sent somewhere that you can look at later. It's just going to be sitting in the archive. It's got a label on it, so it's easy to find. So I would suggest you just stop here and make as many labels as you think is going to be helpful for you. You can always adjust these later. So maybe since you're in learning mode now, you just like to do a handful and get used to it. And then when you're comfortable with it, you'll discover more labels that'll be helpful for you. So if you need to repeat any part of this, of course, you can stop and go back and replay it. And ask for help if you need it. There's also print versions of what we're doing. So try to get your labels all set up, and then we'll move on to the next step.